What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Test Your Might, the weekly video game debate show. My name is Mike, and today we will be discussing the Xbox Developer Direct, Halo in Shambles, and a gaming draft double feature. But first, let me introduce the panel. We have Justin here today. How you doing today, Justin?
Quack, quack, quack. The duck is back.
Okay. And returning guest, returning champion several times, even ones that aren't in the world,
Yeah,
even
like 16 or
that have
17
never
of
been
them.
published. Cam Hawkins. Cam, you're back. Welcome. How's it going?
I'm back, and I've watched Prey, and you've
Yes.
watched Attack on Titan.
Yeah, so a little bit of going back to his last time. He challenged me after the podcast that we recorded to watch Attack on Titan.
Was it after the podcast? I thought
It
it was
was.
on the podcast.
I don't think it's
that's why I
on.
brought it up. I'm sorry.
It's all good. And then I challenged him to watch Prey, so we have both succeeded. The challenge was accepted, and I'm almost done with Attack on Titan, and he finished Prey, so kudos to you. Kudos to
And
you
you-
to keep into
and-
that.
No,
And you said it's like in your top 5 favorite shows now.
I love Attack on Titan. I think, just a little sidebar. I think that I definitely think I like the first 3 seasons better. Like as like a
Sure.
cohesive story. But some of the twists and turns that season 4 has brought into the fold, like, you got to watch it to believe it, so it's all good. But
Like, did I not tell you when you were watching the first season? I'm like, you think this show is something, but it's not this.
Yeah,
And,
no.
and you were just completely like, you're gonna be thrown for a
100%,
loop.
100%.
well, I think it's an anime, and it is an anime.
Yeah,
Cam
that's
Hawkins, on a scale from 1 to 10, real quick, Prey, where does it scale on there?
I would say it's like a solid 8. I would say it's a
Yeah.
solid 8.
All right.
Awesome.
That's good.
It's a little slow to start,
Mhm.
but once it gets going, and I think there's like once the whole stuff with the bear happens, that's where the movie like really picks up and
Starts
just
hitting that roller coaster.
keeps going until
Doesn't stop. Yep.
it keeps going, and it doesn't stop until the credits roll. So
Yeah.
Perfect.
yeah,
I'm glad that
I
you think
recommend
it's
it.
good. Yeah, it's definitely good.
Love that movie. Anyway, listeners, please leave us a review on any podcatcher of choice that you're using. If you're using Spotify, you can leave us a review on mobile only, just a star rating. If you're using Apple Podcasts, that's the best way to let us know how we're doing. Just leave a little comment down below. Just let us know. Also, if you're watching us on YouTube, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Please like the video and then comment down below what your thoughts about today's episode were. And also, just letting you know, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, you probably don't know that all this fluff that you're hearing, we actually take the debates and we also take the news segment out and separate them into separate YouTube videos if you just want to enjoy that stuff. So I highly recommend being subscribed there if you just want to get to the Test Your Might section or the news section for each of our episodes. A little bit of housekeeping for you. We are reviewing the Harry Potter movies, 1 per month, going all the way to the last Fantastic Beasts movie, so stay tuned for that. The first Harry Potter coming out this week. And then we also are going to be reviewing one of Joe's favorite movies of all time. We had to put a hiatus on that because of some stuff last week, so we're going to be reviewing Tucker and Dale versus Evil, which stay tuned for our thoughts on that because that's also coming your way. A lot of content coming out. So,
Guys,
All
going
right.
camping.
have you seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil?
Me?
Oh yeah, I love that
Yeah.
movie. It's
Oh,
hilarious.
yeah. I love that movie. Awesome. It was my first time watching it for review here. So, all right, we are going to do a Last of Us check-in. So each week, I'm sorry, I'm already apologizing. I am not prepared. Each week we're going to tackle the episodes. Now we will be a week behind because we do record on Sundays. That's when an episode does release. So we are going to be a week behind. So we're just going to give our thoughts on the first episode. And by our thoughts, I mean you two, because you both have seen the first episode. So please, Cam, we'll start with you. Just a little bit of thoughts, spoiler-free thoughts, obviously, on the first episode of The Last of Us.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. Like I'm not that big of a Last of Us fan compared to most people, um, and I thought that it did a really good job at, um, setting up everything. It was pretty like shot for shot for what the game was. They did add in some more stuff with Sarah, which I liked just because it gave me more reason to like care about that character, instead of just like when you played the game and you're starting as playing as this little girl and you're like, okay, what's going on, like, why am I playing as this girl? You get a little bit more characterization for her. And I think that the cast is great. Like Pedro's great as Joel, Gabriel's great as Tommy, Bella's great as Ellie, and I believe the person who did everything for Marlene in the game
It's
is
the same chick,
is the same actress in the show, which is really, really cool. I like kind of appreciate that they did that. And yeah, again, like a lot of it is shot for shot, and I think that it did a good job at doing that. And it'll be interesting to see how the show is going to kind of branch off and do its own things while it still fits into the story of what they're telling, based off the game. So yeah.
All right, Justin, a little bit of thoughts here.
Wake me up before I go. I spoke about it last week a little bit with Cicero. I've watched it 3 times now, the first episode, and I'm in love with it. I wasn't a big Last of Us fan as well, just like Cam, but this has almost made me want to go back and play it, honestly, and like kind of like trail along with the show, even though it's not all the same. It's excellent storytelling and excellent cinematography. They do a really good job with really immersing you in that world and almost making it real, like make it feel like it's something that could happen. And that's something really good for HBO to do. I can't wait. I think it came out maybe 30 minutes ago, so I'll be back. I'm gonna leave and I'll be back to talk about episode 2. Or
no,
okay.
no. We're
Next
not doing
week
that.
then. I'll let you know
Yeah,
next week if that strength held up.
Well, not next week. You won't be here next week. So
I'll have to videotape something
somebody
early.
will.
Yeah, I'll do a little clip for you guys. You can pop it in there for everyone. But yeah, no, I believe it's a 10 out of 10 as of right now. I think they did a really good job with every aspect of it.
Wow.
Sound, acting, and storytelling. It really meshes together really well. So HBO, hats off for sure.
That's high praise. So yeah, I'll get it watched, and we'll get more thoughts on episode 2, as well as episode 1 next week. So, all right, that was The Last of Us check-in. It is time for what you have been playing. Justin, let's roll with you first here. What have you been playing?
Last week we talked about Marvel Snap, and we kind of gave a grading on how we're doing in it. And I was a B- at that point. I'm a C now. I would give myself a C. I am just struggling to win match after match. Even with whatever deck I use, it seems like they have a counter for it. And I just, I don't know if I'm playing wrong per se, but I just feel like it's getting a lot more sweaty, and it worries me. Other than that, I picked up Skyrim, and I started playing as a Khajiit, which I have never done before. Yeah, it's good. I love it. Getting through it again and enjoying it. So yeah, that's really what I've been playing.
Okay. All right. I've never played Skyrim.
Neither have I.
Might be a game I get into at some point. Who knows?
I'm kind of like debating because I've never beat Fallout 4 either. The last Fallout I beat was 3 or New Vegas. I'm not sure which one. And I didn't really play all of 4. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go through Skyrim with the anniversary edition and try out the new fishing and all that stuff. And then jump into Fallout before Starfield drops. So I can get like a clear base of the greatest hits they have to see what's different in Starfield when it does release. So it's kind of like a cool little project.
I would almost play Fallout 3 then instead of Fallout 4.
Well,
I think a lot of...
If I was going with most recent, I would have to play 76. So I was debating Fallout definitely Fallout 3 or 4, but 4 is kind of like the newest good game that they came out with, I guess. So
yeah. Well, Fallout 4 has the base building too that I believe they are implementing into Starfield. So
I can see where they got everything from.
Yeah. Cam, what have you been playing?
I've been playing a few things. I've been playing Cicero on stream because that's just one of, I've dabbled in other From Software games. Like I've played most of Demon Souls on PS5. I played a good chunk of Elden Ring. And while I do want to eventually go back to those, like Sekiro's the one that's like grabbed me the most. I like challenging games, but I like them when they're fast, and you have to be quick on your feet, moment to moment. And that's a big reason why Returnal was my game of the year for 2021, was because it had that same kind of gameplay experience. And I've been enjoying that so far. Like I'm past a lot of the more iconic bosses from that game, like the Guardian Ape and stuff like that. I still got a few, a little bit ways to go, but I've been making good progress on that. I've been playing through more of the Legend of Heroes series. I'm pretty sure I've talked about that series at least once on this podcast, but I'm currently on Cold Steel 2, so I'm like 3 games away from being fully caught up in the series. And the next game in the series, Trails into Reverie, I think is what exactly what it's called. That comes out in, I believe, July later this year. So I'm very, I want to make sure I'm caught up by then. And then outside of that, I'm generally like playing Overwatch 2, Fortnite. I recently played like Danganronpa for the first time. That's a really good, if you want a good like kind of like murder mystery. Like it's actually kind of like Ace Attorney, where there's like different cases of these like high school students trapped in a high school, and they're basically presented with the opportunity like, hey, if you kill someone and you get away with it, there's like a trial and you don't get found as guilty by the rest of the class, then you get to graduate and you escape.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's a lot of twists and turns in it. It's it's well written. I think it was originally a Vita game, and it holds up very, very well. All of them are on Game Pass.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
Yeah, so if you well, actually, I think the first one just left Game Pass, but still, if you want to check out Danganronpa, it's basically on every platform. So definitely check it out.
Awesome. Good stuff. I've still been playing Marvel Snap as well. Just getting in my dailies. I'm this season I've decided not to like try to be competitive. I've just tried to play, fun sort of decks that I've compiled. Currently playing. I finally got one of the cards that was really, really necessary for a true surfer deck, Silver Surfer. So I've been playing that a lot. I've also been playing like a discard and a resurrection deck with Ghost Rider. So yeah, just been having a lot of fun with Marvel Snap. I agree with you though, Justin. There are some games that it just seems like they have the exact right card that they need to stop me, and it's very, very annoying.
Just
it seems like every match.
A common card game trope. I play Magic the Gathering, and I play Yu-Gi-Oh, and it's just one of those things where you think you win, and then they like let you set up your board, and then it's just like, all right, you lose now.
You fell into my trap.
Yeah, exactly. So I totally get that. I can't get into Marvel Snap. I won't let myself, because I know I'm gonna get into it. And I also am not a big fan of mobile games. I know it's on PC too, and that's where I would probably play it. But I can't. I already play Fortnite. I already play Overwatch. Like I can't be in another like live service game like that.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. I think your time is very valuable. Just everybody's time is very valuable. So I think, especially if you're into both Overwatch and Fortnite on a pretty consistent basis, I would maybe stay clear of Marvel Snap, especially if you know that you enjoy card games and enjoy, the loop of them. So, because Marvel Snap is pretty much the only live service game that I'm playing, which does bring me to my next game that I just finished yesterday. And I blazed through it because I just could not stop playing it, and that was Sleeping Dogs. Sleeping Dogs, to me, I don't think it's talked about enough. It is. I think it's underrated. And I think the story is crazy good in that game. Like I played it back on the 360, and I never beat it. And then so I just never played it again until this past week, really. And I was just like, I want to get through this game. I was also playing The Witcher 3, and like I understand that The Witcher 3 is just this like great game and everything, but it is the biggest open world, 80 hours, and I was just like, I kind of want an open world that is a short, concise game, manageable with my life, and Sleeping Dogs is that. It's only like 15 hours of gameplay to get through the story, and the story is just phenomenal. The combat is great along the way. I don't have more. I do have a lot more good things to say about Sleeping Dogs, but we'll move on. So, play Sleeping Dogs. It's great. It's awesome. And also, if you have a Series X or even a Series S, Sleeping Dogs has FPS boost, and it also has the auto HDR, and it is the quintessential way to experience that game. Cam, you were gonna say something?
I was gonna say, like, I agree with you. Like, I think that's Sleeping Dogs came out, and like I think a lot of people just like it was a new IP, and also like because originally it was going to be a new true crime game, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was what it was originally
I think
supposed
so.
to. And then it got kind of turned into Sleeping Dogs, and I think that it's just it's a shame, but a lot of people just saw it as like another GTA, and it was also a new IP. So it's just like when you're trying to compete technically against like such an iconic franchise, that it just kind of the people that played it loved it, but there wasn't enough like even with the high critical reception it got, it just didn't get the backing that it needed for more people to play it, because it also had a great voice. Like Emma Stone's
in there.
Yeah,
like very, very small scene, but she's in it.
yeah, it's very interesting. So
but no, like I think what separates Sleeping Dogs from like the other GTA clones and like other stuff is its combat. Like its focus on kung fu, which is just that's just what brings it to top notch territory for me. So, all right, Cam, you haven't been on since the Switch. We put Test Your Might in the beginning of the show now. Keep the high energy levels going. So we're going straight into Test Your Might. So let's get into it. You guys are debating tonight. We got some fun topics here, plus a blind fight. So
do we have any reverses or no?
Yeah. Kim, you also haven't been on the podcast since we added an Uno reverse. So an Uno reverse can be used whenever, and you are allowed to switch arguments with somebody, either mid-argument if you think that you could carry the argument to a better place, or you could do it at the beginning, or you could even do it at the end. It is okay whenever you do it.
You get one use, and also I do as well.
One use.
So if I feel like I'm confident like winning, I could Uno reverse back your Uno reverse.
Yes.
And just mill them out. So it adds a little strategery, and it's a lot more fun.
You also don't have to use it at all. So
okay.
All right. First debate topic: Tomb Raider Mansion. Justin, I know you saw this. I sent you the link. Is being added as DLC in Power Wash Simulator. It is a very dirty mansion. It needs cleaning. So, what video game house / environment should be added next to Power Wash Simulator? Cam, you are our guest. Once again, welcome back. Would you like to go first or second on this debate?
Second.
Okay. I just want to say That was very rude of you because I knew it was coming, but it's not coming until the 31st of this month, and I'm going to be on vacation when it drops. And I was looking for DLC like to play. I was like, more. I love this game. And the video just doesn't do it justice. It's going to be so amazing when it does come out. But nonetheless, I am picking a video game house/environment that would be added next. And I'm going a little bit out the box here, but in the realm of possibility. And I'm saying Grove Street.
What's Grove Street from?
From GTA San Andreas. That is
okay. So is that like the starting street?
That is the starting street of CJ and Big Smoke.
Okay.
And
all right.
It's a cul-de-sac in San Andreas. And
okay.
Yeah. I'll start off with that. Grove Street, definitely be interesting. Go ahead, Cam.
I'm gonna go with the SR2 Normandy from Mass Effect.
Okay. This is the Normandy from Mass Effect 2 specifically, right? Okay.
Well, it's technically in Mass Effect 3, but no, we're going Mass Effect 2. We're going with the Cerberus yellow. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, another game I got to get to. Cam, go with your opening argument.
Wait, but he picked first.
I know. I'm switching it up. Uno reverse you from me.
Okay. I mean, like for me, this is just speaking for me. Like, this is what I would get me to like. I think Power Wash Simulator's cool, but like for me, it's just like it's a simulator game. It's not my thing. But this is what could get me to download and play it because Mass Effect is such a beloved franchise. The Normandy is such an iconic vehicle and ship in not just video games but in sci-fi. And I think that being able to see, like, be able to clean the outside of the ship and then also go inside and potentially it's a lot of content. It's a lot of content to clean, which you want something nice, big and clean or nice, big and dirty to clean. And it would be really cool if they implemented like the characters on the ship. You can interact with the characters while you're cleaning, or if you just hear like conversations happening while you are cleaning, that would be really cool. You want those monitors and those interfaces to be all nice and clean, and
spray them with water.
Well, the ship isn't gonna be on. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's just one of those things where it gives you a new reason to explore the Normandy and all of its glory. That's what I'll say.
Just in Grove Street.
Yeah, I'm gonna say scale wise, ours are almost identical. Mine is from that overdrive bridge all the way down overpass bridge all the way over to the cul-de-sac and all the houses on it. So this external but also internal, because you get the internals of CJ's house and you get the upstairs, downstairs, you get Big Smoke's house, you get the inside as well. And these are all iconic scenes that you remember from cutscenes from the game. So it definitely shares that. These two, I would love to do the Normandy. I think the difference is the variety between Grove Street and the Normandy. You get houses, you also get internals, you get vehicles on the street parked, you get the different objects. Now we had a patchy helicopter in Power Wash Simulator already. It's one of the lesser challenged maps because there's not a lot of variety. You get engines, you get some like wings, obviously, you get the different helicopter blades. The Normandy is kind of sleek on the outside, so the outside would be very, it's obviously symmetrical from both sides. So you're going to be doing the same thing on one side as the other. Internally, that's where the uniqueness comes for yours. Mine kind of has that uniqueness throughout. So that's where I'm going with that.
Cam, rebuttal.
So I can't speak on the houses because I didn't really play San Andreas.
Oh.
But like knowing that, like, I'm assuming the street, like the street itself also includes like the sidewalks and stuff, like I don't want to clean that. Like that's not what I want to go clean in a power wash simulator. And like for me, you know, just speaking for myself, and I would say Mass Effect fans, is that I want to clean. I don't like really care that I like what I'm cleaning in the sense of like it's the Normandy. Like I want to clean the Normandy. I don't care about the difficulty. I don't care about like the design or like how it would take to get like clean small like areas or anything like that. I just want to be able to clean the Normandy because that's really cool. And I think that I would argue that the Normandy is more iconic than people's houses from a video game. Like, I don't think that there's anything like I can't really think about, oh, you remember that person's house from this game? Like, no, like I don't like I don't, you know, it's just I think that the Normandy would be a more exciting, more iconic thing to clean. While I think that like it's I will give you do have the variety of different like things like houses and environments, but I think like if there was like just, hey, you get to clean the Normandy, you get to go inside the Normandy, you get to clean it up, and you get to hear these conversations that are happening that's in the world, that's like this kind of like nice little kind of like how there's probably going to be like Easter eggs in the Tomb Raider mansion. You get those same kind of Easter eggs in the Normandy, which I think is really, really cool and exciting. And it might even get people to play Mass Effect for the first time.
Now, I'm sorry for you that you didn't play a lot of GTA San Andreas. It's one of my favorites out of the Rockstar portfolio. Now, the stories that come with Mass Effect are definitely unique. Yes, handcrafted. Your characters are handcrafted. It's awesome. That's what makes San Andreas and Grove Street so unique. Is it's not about what the game gave you, it's what you created yourself. That's where I had that high-speed chase. That's where I had the cops tail me and corner me in behind the fence. These are things that you make yourself. For everyone, it's going to be different. And Grove Street is lined with those possibilities of people because that's the most played area, being the beginning of the game. So not only is it the environment that's going to trigger people, but it's also the fact that it hits them where they grew up, you know. And just think of the taglines for this. Clean up Grove Street. You don't see the Normandy dirty, ever. You don't see the Normandy very dirty. It flies through space, you know, but to that point, a lot of these things in the game are not dirty normally as well. You know, they just throw dirt on everything. Sure. Grove Street's iconic for being dirty. Let's clean it up. So many dings, so many different sound effects that are going to make these people love every sidewalk piece, every house. These Easter eggs are there for Grove Street as well. And not only the ones that the game gave you, ones you made yourself.
So do I have a final rebuttal?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So what I'll say is the whole like Normandy being dirty thing doesn't really matter. The Tomb Raider mansion is way dirtier than we've ever seen it in the DLC. That's irrelevant.
Been a
while. But I'll also say like Grove Street might be where you started in GTA 5 and you might have like the most memories, but Normandy is where you have all the memories because that's your home base. That is where that game exists and where you have those conversations with those characters. And it's I would not compare based off what you have explained of Grove Street as an equal to the Normandy with that specific thing in mind.
One more rebuttal, Justin.
Sure. You know, Normandy is with you through most of your adventures in Mass Effect 2 and 3. Normally 3 for this Normandy, we're correct.
Yeah.
You do get out of it. You do go and do adventures on a planet, and you go back to it,
Sure.
right? Sure. CJ, the character that you play as, is Grove Street for life. He started there. It carries throughout the entire story progression. And it ends there. Spoilers, sorry. You come back to Grove Street, and it's in shambles, and it's being destroyed, and there's riots and all kinds of things happening story-wise.
Wow.
So this is a story that starts there and also ends there. Iconically, it is with you throughout. So that's what I get.
All right. I'm going to give this one to Cam. I think that the Normandy is just
Objection.
so much more iconic than Grove Street, and I think he proved that to you in his arguments. So, although Grove Street is very, very iconic, like I will agree with that, but I think
it's like I played Vice City, I've played 4, I've dabbled in 5. I just like San Andreas just kind of went past, and I know a lot of people like consider it their favorite. like Vice City is
it's a great game, but it's shorter.
It is,
Yeah.
but I hope 6 is Vice City, like a lot of people are.
Well, it's the map of Vice City, probably, and then some more.
yeah, Miami.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I really hope so.
All right. So Cam's on the board with 1. Xbox developer _direct is coming this week. Yes, there is an underscore in between that. Now, to be clear, I want to be upfront about this because I don't want anybody in the comment section, because we definitely have a crazy comment section. No, I'm just kidding. But only 4 games have been announced to make an appearance, and Xbox has set that expectation and flat out said that there's nothing more. But you know, we play a little differently around these parts of Test Your Might. If there was a surprise announcement, what would be the craziest? We're going losers out this week. So Justin, you get to decide. Would you like to be first or second?
I'll go first. I already used the Activision Blizzard acquisition, right? Oh, that was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
All right. So I got to come up with something crazier. Impossible. Can't do that. That was pretty crazy. Now, everyone's talking about this Bethesda Activision deal. This is my segue. They're talking about it clearing. They're talking about it not clearing. They're talking about, you know, the FDA coming in and stopping this whole deal. But what if it didn't matter? What if it didn't matter because Microsoft can make deals with people regardless to who owns games and properties? They're going to come out and say that Diablo 4, whether this deal goes through or not, is coming to Game Pass day 1.
Okay. That would be wild.
Yeah, well,
Cam.
you can do it with any developer, just 'cause they're
I
in the
kind
deal.
of I kind of interpreted your question differently, so I'm very interested in how this conversation is going to go.
I love
it. So my announcement was going to be, well, see, here's the thing. This developer, I'm gonna read this question. So it's just a surprise announcement. You didn't specify how in depth that announcement has to be.
No.
So what I'm gonna stick with what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Wing it.
And I'm gonna say, like, hey, it's happening. We're getting another Banjo-Kazooie.
Okay. Okay, another Banjo. All right, Diablo 4 coming to Game Pass day 1. Pretty crazy, Justin.
Yeah, something that hasn't been told that it's not happening ever. Diablo 4 is one of the biggest, games coming out this year for PC gamers and for console gamers. Diablo is huge. And to be able to tell fans of Blizzard that own Xbox or PC that they're getting it for free, regardless if Xbox owns Blizzard or Activision, is huge. That is a game that a lot of people are like, if this deal clears, we're going to get that day 1. Sure, we would. But what if they made sure of that by just cutting a check instantly and letting them know we are behind our fans and we know what you want? For Banjo, like I said earlier, they have stated it's not happening and it will not happen. Jim Ryan, no, it's not. It's not happening. No one.
Jim Ryan?
Not
Jim Ryan is the head of PlayStation.
Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer has said it's not happening.
He said that?
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true.
I'm gonna look it up.
It's all right.
Maybe I got these names
Use
mixed
it.
up. Names are tough. Somebody big in Xbox said that it's not happening. They're not looking into it. Banjo-Kazooie is not coming back. I would like it, but I don't think it's happening. I'm gonna look up the quote. Cam, don't worry.
All that I can recollect is that people have been wanting Tim Schafer to make Banjo and Double Fine his team, and he said that that's not happening. So that's the only thing that I can recollect. Cam, go
So
on.
I'm not. So I want to say this does not go towards my argument because I'm literally looking this up. I just want to clear the air here.
Yeah.
Last year, in like 2 years ago, Phil Spencer said that a new Banjo Kazooie is totally up to Rare,
Mhm.
and last year Phil Spencer shared that he was playing Banjo Kazooie, and that got fans excited that maybe there's something coming. But there's been nothing about, hey,
I
there's
play
not going to be.
I play banjo from time to time, like everyone does, because it's a great game. That doesn't mean anything. When he puts a
But
banjo
and here's
on
the
his
thing:
behind
we're
him,
talking
sure.
about hypotheticals, baby. We're not talking about what.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what I'll say is, Banjo coming back is one of the most requested things ever since Rare was acquired by, well, I mean, not even since Rare was acquired by Xbox or Microsoft, because that's been a while. But like in recent years, a lot of people have wanted it. It was a big deal when Banjo was added to Smash Bros, which just hyped up those wants even more. And I think that there is a perfect studio to handle the development of that game that could be in, Rare can help with the development and in any way that they see is fit. But I think that there is a perfect studio that we've already seen that can make a fun and engaging game that was a Rare IP originally, and that's Dilala Studio.
Mm.
And that's the studio that made Battletoads, that came out a few years ago. Which, by the
Okay.
way, real good game. I genuinely really enjoyed that game. Really funny, well written game, and I think that it could fit the humor of Banjo Kazooie. And again, it was Rare helped with the development of that game, but it was primarily done through Delala Studio. And yeah, it's one of those things that I think that realistically we're not gonna see a Banjo game developed by Rare again, but I do see a reality where there could be a third party source studio like Delala Studio that has cooperation with Rare to make a new Banjo Kazooie a reality. And I think that that would be very exciting and realistic.
Justin.
Yeah. Yeah. So Rare. Let's start off with Rare is up to it's up to Rare, right? That's the deal. They're currently working on Everwild. Currently making updates for Sea of Thieves, which they're apparently swamped and hard working at because Sea of Thieves is their moneymaker now. Their employee count isn't very high. They don't have extra studio heads. They're maybe at like, I don't know, this says more than 200, but that doesn't really tell anything. I feel like they've got their hands full. They're making a new game, action adventure game for Windows and for Xbox. They're busy. I don't have time to dig up old properties and work it out. They've got to hand that out to someone else if they were to. That would be a surprise. Sure. I agree. Because fans are not expecting it. Diablo 4, you said we got Banjo in Smash and that hyped it up. We got Diablo 2 Resurrected. That hyped it up. That brought us back to our nostalgia. I remember playing the first Diablo. I remember playing the second one. 3 was great. 4's trailer and gameplay trailer blew us out of the water. Fans are going wild for open world, big events, PvP, areas that are not PvP and PvE. This game is going to sell like hotcakes. It's going to be ridiculously fun and bring the nostalgia of the original games back. So if you were to get that for free with Game Pass, PC and Xbox, that's huge. The fan base would blow up. And that's like Call of Duty levels for Diablo, for RTS fans, for those kind of fans of those games. That's the push to make Game Pass huge again, and on top of again, because they keep doing it with big titles. Adding more genres to the Game Pass is only going to bolster Game Pass even further. And that's one of the biggest ones for PC gamers and console gamers. Diablo is their sweet spot. Getting it for free. Come on. There's no fight there.
Cam.
Yeah, regarding Diablo 2 Resurrected, like I don't know many people personally like on the timeline that were super like into that game when it came out. Like I know that Diablo 2 is a beloved game. Like I'm not disregarding that at all, but I don't think that like that was the push that Diablo like that was needed to get people excited for Diablo 4. I think that just Diablo 4 being announced is excited for Diablo 4 because Diablo was such an iconic franchise. But that being said, I think that you know, I think that there is a reality. Um, Even if this deal wasn't being considered, that Diablo would eventually see itself on something like Game Pass or PlayStation Plus, whatever you want to call it. But you know, the Banjo-Kazooie would be a single player experience that we know that would come to Game Pass. It would bring back another IP that Microsoft has been sitting on for so long that people love, and that's what Xbox has been struggling with is their first party. Like Game Pass is gonna succeed regardless. You know, as long as they keep on adding games. Like sure, it's nice to get a big, you know, a big title every now and then, but what they need is a strong first party lineup, and this can help bolster that. In a, you know, and honestly, maybe not in a huge way, but it is something that, again, that's been heavily requested. And again, especially with the news of what is happening with Halo and like how Halo Infinite has been performing the past 2 years since it's launched, they need first party games more than big names on Game Pass. Game Pass has been doing numbers and numbers and numbers, and sure, Diablo 4 can make those numbers bigger, but I think that everyone knows that at the end of the day, their first party is where they need to focus on, like finding a real success with.
So I'm gonna just strike and say we're getting so many first party this year already. We've got Forza, Redfall, Starfield. These are games that are coming out this year, right?
Power Rangers.
Power Rangers. Can you imagine the lineup of getting Forza and then Redfall, a multiplayer game, and then Starfield, a single player, excellent experience, and then back to multiplayer with the biggest hit of this year in multiplayer, Diablo 4? That bolstered first half of the year would be ridiculous for Xbox. That's 3 first party and 1 third party. But not just any third party, the biggest selling. Like StarCraft was right on its back in the day. Diablo was the game for fans, and it still is.
And one more rebuttal.
Yeah, what I'll say is it takes more than a few games for everyone to be like, all right, they got the lineup, they got the first party lineup, they got the IPs. Like it takes years upon years. It took I almost swear it, but I didn't. It took like PlayStation basically the entirety of its PS3 generation to get people on board with their first party lineup, with Uncharted and The Last of Us and like Ratchet and Clank and so many iconic IP. Like granted, right now, yes, they do have a good looking as of right now, which again we haven't seen a whole lot of, to be honest. We haven't seen a whole lot of Starfield. We haven't seen a whole lot of I know for sure, but there's not that's not a guarantee that these games are gonna hit, you know. And so, but what I'm saying is like this is a studio that they have a portfolio, they have a resume, they've proven that they can do this, and it will likely turn out good. And I'm not saying that the other games don't, like Arcane and Bethesda are good studios, but they're also both new IPs. And regardless of the studio, new IPs are always up in the air. You're not too sure. So I think that having something like Banjo-Kazooie would be really exciting because people have wanted it. Not just a specific, you know, people have wanted it. And I think I had to take a step back. People have wanted it for a very long time. and again, ultimately, what they need to work on is their first party lineup.
Personally, I would be
All
more
right.
excited about a Splinter Cell remake or reboot.
That's also happening.
Happening. So, anyway, I'm calling it. Cam, your argument was extremely solid. But
Yeah.
I think that your only argument that really bolstered Banjo is that people want it. And so
Sure.
I do think that the Diablo 4 coming to Game Pass day one, regardless of the acquisition, I think that would be an even bigger and crazier announcement, especially within the confines of the uncertainty of the acquisition. So I'm giving that one to Justin.
Sure, that's fair. I definitely fought for. I had to fight for that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was just like, that's like pretty. Because again, I read it as like something. I guess it was like a game that hasn't been announced, like
Okay,
something that.
yeah.
That's how I originally received the question.
No, I
And
hear
so when
you.
he said
Banjo
that, I'm
Coming
like,
is pretty good. That's
and I was just like,
good.
oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm just gonna keep going with what I got.
Work.
All right. Next topic. With 2023 having a lot of amazing games on the horizon, what game should excite people the most, and why? Okay. Cam, losers out. So what game should excite people the most? Now you could go big AAA like Tears of the Kingdom, Starfield, Spider-Man 2, or you can go indie route, whatever you want.
Yo, like, I was not prepared for this one at all.
Want me to go first?
Like, yeah, if you have an answer, like, please go first.
All right. Going with Spider-Man 2. Psychonauts is going to hit hard with this title. We saw what
Psychonauts?
Psychonauts, Insomniac.
they did. Insomniac. They made both of them, right?
No, they didn't.
No, Psychonauts
Yeah.
is the game from
Double
Double
Fine.
Fine.
It's been a long day, and this water is very healthy. No, Insomniac, Spider-Man. Those
All
are the
right,
words.
Cam wins this one. We'll move on to the blind fight.
No, so we saw what they did with Miles Morales in the DLC, and we saw what they did with the original Spider-Man game, and now we saw what they did with Ratchet and Clank. We saw the visuals the PS5 can do. Imagine a world where Spider-Man is fighting against Venom, one of the biggest Spider-Man villains, like, that could do anything. The darkness that he can bring to Manhattan, I got it now, would be amazing. And the visual aspect of it, of seeing the glistening windows and the city streets and the lights and the cars, the immersion level that would hold. I'm not a big fan of the original Spider-Man game because I can't get with the controls, but I know that the Spider-Man 2 is going
That's
to
my
hit
same
different.
reaction, Cam.
And this game is definitely exciting a lot of people
I have
based on their record. Cam, are you ready?
See, here's the thing. I have two games that come to my mind right now.
Well, you are allowed to
One
pick
of them, but it's I know. But one of them is
Psychonauts?
no. It really just depends on like what Mike would like resonate more with as an argument, I guess, is the thing that I'm thinking of.
I am unbiased, my friend.
I know you're unbiased, but you still have like, like I really like dig that viewpoint, that argument more than like, and they're two different kind of arguments. It's a game that's so does it have to be a game that we know is coming out this year?
Yeah.
Like it has a release date for 2023.
No, I think
It says with
to be
2023
determined.
having
Okay,
a lot of
let me.
games on the
I am a
horizon.
host.
Yeah,
I am the
yeah.
host. Let me host.
Yeah.
This is regardless of any delays. So like if a game is pinned at 2023, you could still argue for it even if it does eventually get delayed.
So I could have argued Starfield.
So my pick
That's not getting
then.
delayed.
My pick then, if I that if the game that I wanted to pick has a winter release, it just says winter.
Yeah,
It
I'm
doesn't.
okay with that. I'm okay with that.
I kind of wish you said no, but that's okay. I am going to
Pick the one you want, Cam. You got it.
Oh no. Okay. I'm a destroy now. Okay. Like this you should just give this as a
Where's
wrap
my
on
gas
my
mask?
end, y'all.
Oh, okay.
All right. So my
Drugs.
pick has to be the sequel to 2020's Game of the Year, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Okay. All right. Fantasy VII Remakes sequel Rebirth. All right. Cam, just a quick opening argument on that, because he already did his opening argument.
Okay. So Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I don't think people realize how crazy this game might be, in the sense of Final Fantasy VII Remake. I don't know, Mike, if you've played it, but Final Fantasy VII Remake, I have to go into spoilers here for my argument. So basically, Final
Just don't
Fantasy
talk
VII
about
Remakes,
her at all, because I want to cry.
just some background for the host, for the judge, so he knows. So basically, Final Fantasy VII Remake is a remake / sequel to the original Final Fantasy VII compilation, where the story was basically diverging to to different events or different things for characters happening, and there was this this entity known as the Whisperers, basically, that were forcing those divergences to not happen.
Okay.
And have the original story of 7 play out as it should have. And basically at the end of the game, they basically destroyed Fate, where now after, and this is just the beginning part of the original Final Fantasy VII when they're in Midgard. Midgard. And so now we go into Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Anything is possible. Anything, Final Fantasy VII, one of the most iconic stories in video games. Anything is possible. Sephiroth may not kill Aerith this time. Other characters could die. Zack Fair is alive. He is not dead anymore. Who was the character that basically died protecting Cloud, and the Buster Blade was Zack's. There's so many super iconic things from this story that are now not a thing, and it's basically telling a brand new story with the same elements in a way that's really compelling. And it's just, that was one of the reasons why Final Fantasy VII Remake was so big, not only because it was a quality game, but it is a chance for things to play out differently in one of the most iconic video game stories of all time. And I think that the game that represents JRPGs, it is the poster boy of JRPGs as a genre. And the idea of just anything is possible, the tease of the meteor from the logo, there's so much that potential that it should, for anyone that has played Final Fantasy VII Remake or is interested in playing Final Fantasy VII, getting into that world, it is incredibly exciting.
Spider-Man 2, Justin.
I like how we both chose PlayStation properties.
There you go.
Well, I mean, they made a deal. They made a deal.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna be able to play it. So.
Yeah. It's
Remake is a PS4. It's on PS4.
I know, but
But no, you should wait. You should wait until PS5, because the Intergrade DLC, which is you need to play, is only on PS5.
All right, I'll get my PS5.
My game, Spider-Man 2, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, is scheduled to release in fall, Q4 of this year. Now, they have stated that it's astonishing. Can't wait for fans to play it. Pretty big shoes to fit after the last 2 games. And they're right. They do have big shoes to fit. But they also have a great track record with all of their fans, right? They've got them. It's on PC for the original one now. It's the same kind of boat of deals that Final Fantasy is having, except we know it's never coming to Xbox, right? We know Final Fantasy's never coming to Xbox. Cam, you can agree with that?
No, no,
Right.
I'm not gonna agree with that.
All right.
I would 100% agree with that.
Yeah, I would also agree with that. Spider-Man will never.
It's
see...
a time. No, it's a known time exclusive deal. It's known timed exclusive.
For how long?
Well, so originally it was a year, and then when hold on, no, let me finish. When it was originally a year, and then when Intergrade got announced, they said that they re-upped the time exclusivity. They didn't say how long till though.
So it could be indefinite.
But they said it was timed. They said it was timed.
Okay,
for
all right.
indefinite.
That's not.
Regardless,
That is not part of the argument.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever.
So this game, Spider-Man 2, Marvel Spider-Man 2, is going to look amazing. And I'm sure Final Fantasy will look amazing too. I'm sure, if it comes out in 2023. It is scheduled for December. So hopefully it doesn't get pushed. Otherwise, we don't see the light of day. Well, Xbox fans won't anyway. But Spider-Man, we know it's only going to be on PC and on PlayStation. And we know what PlayStation has because of their track record with this game, with this franchise, with this IP. Peter Parker is going to look amazing. And the environment, the world that he lives in, even better. I feel like with the track record and with the accessibility of anyone able to play it, a kid can pick it up. You don't have to be into JRPGs. You don't have to be into that great storytelling of Final Fantasy, which is great for adults, But for kids, they're not going to get into it. Little kids, they pick it up, they see Spider-Man, they're down to try it out, and it's okay for them to play. So I feel like the range for this question is holy crap big, because it includes kids, adults, and fans all around.
Cam, go ahead.
So what I'll say, and part of this is my personal opinion, but still, like, what isn't for all of this. I think that for Spider-Man 2, there are things to look forward to, like Tony Todd's Venom, probably switching between Peter and Miles. But when it comes to the web swinging, like the parkour stuff, it's all great. But the actual, like, when it comes to the side content and the map of the world, like, that stuff got pretty straightforward and bland pretty quickly. And I don't think that they're going to, like, comparatively, and I know this isn't the game that I'm stating, but, like, comparatively to, like, the Arkham series, like, it just doesn't compete. And I think that, I don't think that that's going to change in Spider-Man 2. So it's one of those things where, I think that it's going to be a lot of the same of what we've experienced in the first two games, while there's a lot to look forward to and stuff that's going to be completely new and unexpected and unpredictable when it comes to Final Fantasy VII, because, like, now that we've left Midgard, right? We have this giant world to explore. And previously it was all through an overhead map where you're traveling to different locations. Now you're doing all that in real time. You're literally, like, moving on foot to travel to these iconic locations that you've never been before. It's, it has the potential of being something that we haven't seen in a JRPG before. Because that's why Final Fantasy VII is so iconic for JRPGs, is because they break barriers. They like, when you play a modern Final Fantasy, you think, wow, this is what a JRPG, a niche genre that not a lot of people get appealed to because of, like, maybe be turn-based combat, whatever it may be, or, like, how long the games are. But like, for those that are into JRPGs and those that that weren't into JRPGs but really dug Final Fantasy VII Remake, it has that opportunity to really give them the entrance into JRPGs as a genre, to try other JRPGs and be like, if this is what this is, what are these other JRPGs offering, and what, like, how are they different, and like, what can I get out of these? Because in my opinion, you get the best stories and characters from JRPGs because you have more time to spend with those characters, you have more time for the stories to flesh out, and for the world that you're existing in to evolve. And again, while we are, for a lot of people that have played Final Fantasy VII previously, while we are returning to a familiar territory, the fact of the matter of like how excited that Final Fantasy VII fans who played the originals are for this sequel, that should speak volumes to anyone as to like how much potential and like genuine excitement that we have for this game when it comes out.
Justin, you got one more rebuttal.
Okay, I'm gonna stick to the question on this one. What should excite people the most, and why? Now, we had a great Venom movie, Let There Be Carnage. We had a great Spider-Man movie, right? With all of the Spider-Men that we love from childhood.
Spoilers.
Now, those are the MCU, but they're the characters we know, the characters that we love, from children to adults. The range is there. Everyone's going to love Spider-Man. Everyone has a favorite Spider-Man villain. Some Green Goblin, some Venom like myself. I'm glad to hear Venom's in this game. Now, Final Fantasy is great. New storytelling is great. I think that I know that the unique story that the Spider-Man franchise is going to create with this game is going to draw people in, and more people at that. More people are going to play this game. They will. That's just, Final Fantasy is great, but the fan base for Spider-Man is bigger. And I know that the amount of people that are going to be drawn into this new story coming out of Miles Morales with the new visuals, with the PS5, are going to stick around. They find the joy in those games. They find the joy in the environment, the things that you said fade out quick and they kind of feel stale after a while. That's why people love Arkham. That's why people love these Marvel's Spider-Man games. It's those situations. It's the person-to-person enjoyment of each game and what you do in them. The web swinging, being the web swinger, sliding on cars, whatever you need to, get the fist fighting, fisticuffs down, and fighting their favorite villains at the end of the day. Being a superhero. Everyone wants to be that.
Cam, I've heard enough about your argument as far as Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, so I just want one sentence to bash Spider-Man. One sentence. You
Don't
may
take
have
any
a
shots
hand.
at the Arkham series again. I didn't like that.
That wasn't a bash. That was saying that what it does better than the Spider-Man game. But so, well, I 100% agree and was not arguing that Spider-Man more people will play Spider-Man 2. That's 100% true. But because this is still one sentence, I think ultimately Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has more to offer for like players to like in the grand scheme of video games.
Okay.
That's what I'd say.
All right. Okay. So Spider-Man 2. It's box office. It's the PS5. It's going to be the PS5 game of the generation, like that's what people are going to think.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
No. No. I mean, it's going to sell buckets, but I wouldn't say it's going to be like the PS5 game of the generation.
I mean, you never know. You just never know. Spider-Man was huge. So Spider-Man is huge.
Yeah, Spider-Man was huge. That's
I think he's like the normal size of a normal person. I don't think he's
yeah.
huge. Like a Hulk or something,
Okay. But to be honest, I was putting myself in the shoes of people who have experienced Final Fantasy VII, the story before, and for them to know where that story goes and yet still don't know at this point where the remake story is going to go. I think that just brings out more excitement for those specific fans and for that specific genre. So I'm actually going with Cam on this one because of I think his argument was a little bit more sound. I do agree with you, Justin. Like Insomniac has an impeccable track record.
Oh, for sure.
And Spider-Man 2 will for sure outsell Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And to be frank, maybe the majority of the world is way more excited for Spider-Man 2. But I think Cam just sold it a lot more.
Well, you'll see me in court.
Like the part where I thought that was like a potential nail in the coffin for me, like you against me, is when it wasn't even about Final Fantasy VII. You were just saying that like how Spider-Man is for everyone. I was dude, like that was the thing that I was like, I think I lost this one. But...
Timer on 105 for Cam Hawkins and foul language.
It slipped, my
Dang
friend.
it, I swear, didn't I? No!
It's all right. At this point, it's just a running joke. It's great.
Yeah,
I'm really trying, y'all. I'm really trying.
You're doing,
you're
again,
you're doing a great
applaud
job.
So what happens when you have two parents, growing up with two parents for, 18 plus years, and they just swear like sailors, man. You just get it off of them.
It's all good. It's all good. All right, we head into a blind fight. Now, this blind fight is inspiration. Yeah, go ahead.
And I wanted to say, just for the record, my other pick was going to be Street Fighter 6.
Okay.
Let's hope that Final Fantasy doesn't get pushed. Let's both hope on that.
Okay.
I also wanted to say on the record, I don't think Rebirth is coming out this year. I think it's coming out early next year.
I would agree, but
that's why I had to ask. I was like, it says winter.
But I gave it to you.
If it gets pushed, do I get a point?
No. No, you probably won't even remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, blind fight. The inspiration for this blind fight is from my recent gaming adventures.
Okay.
Sleeping Dogs. I truly believe that it is one of the most underrated video games of all time. What is the most underrated video game of all time? Yeah, but what is the most underrated video game of all time?
Right? Hey, Cam, go ahead.
So listeners, blind fight, these guys have to decide what the most underrated video game of all time and convince me as to why that is. And so while they are thinking, I want you to think about hitting that subscribe button if you're watching us on the YouTube channel. Also, you could subscribe on any podcatcher of choice. Please leave us a review. Apple Podcasts is going to be the best. If you want to follow us on Twitter, we are at WhatTheFunPod. Follow us there for... not a lot of updates, but you could get our updates when we do post an episode. So, guys, most underrated video game of all time. Justin has already put the ball in Cam's court. Cam, you got an idea of what the most underrated game is?
I know what I want to say, but
Well, go with your gut.
No, I know what I want to say. It's just like I can't. It's literally one half of a whole, and I just I can't sell only one half to you. I have to sell the whole thing, and I can't do that. So, I think honestly, I've got nothing to lose. At the very least, I'm going to tie today. I'm going to pick. Wow. I'm going to pick Asura's Wrath.
Okay. Azura's Wrath? Was that one?
It's Asura.
That's how it's pronounced, but it looks like Azura's.
Yeah, it's
right?
Asura's Wrath.
Yeah. Asura's Wrath. Okay.
No, A-S-U-R-A apostrophe S.
Yeah. I know what game you're talking about. Okay. Asura's Wrath for Cam.
I don't even
Justin.
know what that is.
You've
Good.
I can guarantee
I'll tell you that.
I can guarantee you've seen the box art.
Yeah.
It's
You probably have.
pretty noticeable.
Actually, do I want to change my thought?
No, I can't do that. All
No,
right,
no, we're going.
Wait. No, no. Go ahead.
No, we're going. You
No,
do it. You do it. You do
yeah.
it. All right, Justin. Most
get-
underrated game of all time.
Now, just so fans know, I did look up most underrated games of all time during my break. I didn't know half of those games, and the few that I did know I felt like they got good reception. So this is one that I played, and decided I'm going with. I'm gonna get it right this time. Insomniac Games came out with a game a long time ago called Sunset Overdrive, and I feel like it was amazing, and I know it was because I played it, and it didn't get a lot of media attention or reception at all. And I'm still waiting for a sequel. It's not going to happen, probably. But this game was something unique that really brought back that kind of Tony Hawk feel, and also the funniness, the adult humor that I missed in games. So yeah, Sunset Overdrive by Insomniac.
Hi, Cam.
Yeah, so Asuro's Wrath is an action game that came out on the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 generation. And it was developed by Capcom, and it's just a really, really fun, super over the top. Like, it's not anime. It's not anime, but it's anime. It's definitely anime inspired. Um, action where like a lot of the game is just boss fights. And they're very fun design boss fights. And it got a lot of flack because it's very QTE heavy during that era where people liked to criticize QTEs, which I never understood. I always liked QTEs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's never, that was never an issue with me. And the story was actually like pretty good for a pure action game. Like, I feel like when it comes to that genre, a lot of the time the story is where it falls flat a little bit, but I was actually interested in the story and the characters. It had an interesting unique art style. I'm pretty sure it was based off of a specific religion, if I remember correctly, or there was influences based off a specific religion. There's like so many insane moments where like one of the bosses you fight basically like turns into a giant, like a giant in the sense of like giant compared to the planet, and then he tries to like crush you with his finger, and then there's a QTE where you're literally pushing this guy's finger off of the planet, and
Okay.
and it is ridiculous.
Sounds like an anime.
It's ridiculous in all the best ways. And there's like really cool character moments where like one of the bosses you fight is literally like your teacher, and you're basically like having like one last talk, one last drink before you guys are going to fight each other to the death. It really is one of those super hidden, I wouldn't say super hidden, because I think that it has gotten a little bit more attraction over time, but I think that at the time, it wasn't really that exposed, and it really had like a lot going for it. I think it really is like I think it's the most underrated game of all time, because I can't really think of many that are like truly underrated, and I think that like most if not all people should try out, especially if you're into the action genre. And yeah.
Justin.
Yeah. God, I remember this box art. You were right, Mike. I just don't remember playing it. And I'm behind you. I like QTs as well. I played all Nathan Drake's and all the games with, there's great QTs out there. I feel Sunset Overdrive here stepped foot, number one, out of Insomniac's realm. This was their first open world game ever, and it came out golden, and people just didn't play it. It had a similar-esque thing as Metal Hellsinger, which you've played, Mike, and Cam, I'm hoping you've played, where the sound incorporates or bases itself around the gameplay, dynamic sound. The music and the sound cues base it on your actions and the different way of traversing. It all is dynamic based on your actions. So it was something new, inventive. Insomniac was trying to do to really create something unique, and it definitely does work, and should have picked up from other companies as well. This game was hilarious from the beginning to the end. Definitely not for children, so nil me a point there. That's fine. But I feel like it was such a unique experience that you were going back to the roots of, like I said, Tony Hawk skating and grinding to shooting with punk rock playing in the background. This was nostalgia at its base with great color and art direction. And the music only added to that. So I feel like Sunset Overdrive was something that was overlooked by many. And if you have an Xbox, play it, please, because you will also agree that the vibrancy of the world and the sound design really set a tone for games that should have progressed further past this. And you will also be in the same boat as me, hoping that a sequel gets made.
All right, Cam, just bashing rebuttal here.
Ugh.
Talk about his argument, why it's not as underrated.
Yeah, so
as he's
so
making
funny
out to
enough, how you said in Spider-Man PS4 you didn't like how it controlled. I didn't like how Sunset Overdrive control. I tried to play it several times, based off similar things that you were saying that people, like Ryan McCaffrey, he talked about that game a lot and how it was very underrated. And I tried several times to get into it, and it felt like, while I do think the parkour was definitely like a blueprint for what Spider-Man PS4 is, I think that it gave me, especially in hindsight, as I've now played through all the Ratchet and Clank games, it feels just like an open world Ratchet and Clank, but less good to me. Like, the weapons are very inspired by Ratchet and Clank.
Cutting my heartstrings, man. Cutting my heartstrings.
Sorry. The weapons are very similar to how they're designed in Ratchet and Clank, and how the shooting felt was similar to Ratchet and Clank. And I'm not saying that's an all-out bad thing, but I got that experience from other Insomniac games, but better. And I think that I think that Asura's Wrath is a wholly original action game.
All right, Justin, one final bash.
I refuse. I refuse. All's fair in love and war. Wait, that means I'm gonna no. I remember seeing the title, but I've never played it, and I don't feel confident enough to bash a game that I've never played, so I'm not gonna do that.
All
it
right,
might, it might be a great game.
I mean, could have bashed his argument.
Do I have one more thing? I gotta say one more, right?
We're all good. We are all done. You guys had equal arguments there. This one's a little tough because I think Cam had a really good argument.
I guess that's what I said. He had solid arguments.
But I also think that Justin made a solid argument as to why you should play Sunset Overdrive, why it is sort of underrated. So, I think Justin sold me a little bit more. I think Justin sold me just a little bit more. So we're gonna go to a Metacritic here. So the way we settle ties here, listeners, is we take a game and we look at its Metacritic score and we play Price is Right. So
why can't it just be a tie? Why can't it just be a tie?
Nope.
Well, how do we know who's gonna go first at the draft then?
All right. So, we've been talking about it a lot. Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition. What is the Metacritic score for Sleeping Dogs? All right, again, it is Price is Right rules. So you need to choose a number. If you are over it, you lose. But if your opponent is over it, it is still whoever is closest. So think of a number, 1 through 100. Metacritic score Sleeping Dogs, the Definitive Edition from the Xbox One, PS4 generation. Cam, what's your number?
82.
Justin, what's your number?
I was gonna say 81. So
okay, that's your number.
That's 81. What my guess was.
All right. Justin is our winner this evening. 75 is the Metacritic score.
I thought it was over.
I genuinely thought it was higher.
I thought it was like an 89, and I couldn't change because I was thinking 81 the whole time.
No, I knew. I thought it was low 80s, but dang.
All right, well, Justin, you are our winner for this evening. Yeah, 75. Again,
underrated.
Maybe the most underrated video game of all time, Sleeping Dogs.
No, Oscar's Wrath has like a 50 something, I think.
I think it was a 71. I think I just looked it up because I was looking up mine. It's like an 80 something as well.
Yeah, 71. Yeah, 71 on Metacritic.
All right. Okay, listeners, that is Touch Your Mind. Justin, our big winner for this evening. Let's get into some news. You guys, Halo is kind of in shambles. I don't know if you've been trekking this past week, but there have been a lot of rumors this past week that 343 was internally taken off the Halo franchise. Joseph Staten is going back to Xbox Publishing. He is no longer going to be the studio creative director there. And Halo really was in this odd space for the first half of the week, and then closing near the end of the week where, Joseph Staten was leaving as well. And then obviously with Microsoft had a bunch of layoffs, 10,000 in total, I believe, maybe a little bit more, but 343, Bethesda, a lot of Xbox studios were actually impacted by this. But a new development, the latest development as of the 21st, so yesterday, and this is reading from Adam Bankhurst from IGN. It says, amidst rumors that 343 Industries has been taken off of lead development of the Halo franchise, the studio has taken to Twitter to state that it will continue to, quote, develop Halo now and in the future, end quote. 343 Industries studio head Per Hintz, or is it Heinz potentially, shared the message on Twitter saying, quote, Halo and Master Chief are here to stay. 343 Industries will continue to develop Halo now and in the future, including epic stories, multiplayer, and more of what makes Halo great, end quote. Cam, what did you make of all this like Halo drama? And then the follow-up question to that, what do you think Halo Infinite, like the state of that is? What's the future of Halo Infinite?
Oh man, I wasn't ever in doubt that 343 was going to stay as the developer for that game, for Halo, but I am kind of like, I don't know what's going on now, because there's just like, because they got the change of leadership after Bonnie Ross left, and then the whole thing about they were going to do these self-contained campaigns, and now they're not doing that. They're focusing on the multiplayer, and I feel like that they either don't have the staff equipped to do what they want to do, and that's why it's taking so long for certain things to come up, or there's an obvious leadership issue that needs to be sorted. And like Joseph Staten like leaving 343, that's not a good sign either. Mm-hmm. I really think that there needs to be more clarification on what exactly is going on, and why Joseph is leaving. Give us a roadmap of like what they're going to be doing, because like at this point they got Forge out, they got the multiplayer out, and obviously they want to like add more things and content for multiplayer. But what does the single player side look like? Like what are we getting there?
Nothing. Nothing. The
I
single
mean,
player was canceled already.
That's I know, but like, is there going to be anything at all? Like, you know, is this game going to be the ongoing evolving game that we were told it's going to be, or are we going to get Halo Infinite 2 in a few years? Like, you know what I mean? Or and I don't know, like like I personally, you know, I love Halo. I've played every Halo multiple times. I still haven't finished the Infinite campaign. It's not that it was bad. It's just I felt like, you know, I got a lot of what was offered there, and I was able to like kind of step away and play other things, and I just haven't felt the need to go back, and that sucks. Like, I don't want to feel that way about Halo.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that ultimately I think that they just need to make a statement, whether it be Phil, whether it be whoever the head is now, I forgot. Instead of just like, hey, Halo's still with us, don't worry. Like, okay, cool. Well, what else is going on?
Yeah,
so
I think there needs to be a little bit more clarification. Justin, any thoughts?
Well, I know everyone here at the What the Fun podcast, hearts go out to the 10,000 employees that got laid off. The families of them, for sure. That's sad. But as regards to Halo, we need something. Sure, you know, we played it when it first came out, and we were all very into it. There are some people that still play it, but I got burnt out very quickly. Mike, you as well, most likely. And the content of multiplayer just wasn't there. The constant flow of a service game wasn't there, and we all know that. And, you know, only they know why. You know, it could have been because of the engine they were using. It could have been for many things. But if they're not going to let us know or keep the stream going, then they need to start fresh and do something new.
Yeah.
Halo Infinite doesn't have the feedback, doesn't have the draw. You know, Forge mode is great, but it wasn't. Once you lose players, it's hard to gain them back. Cam said it best. You know, he played the campaign, but he felt like he did everything he could. He didn't feel the need to finish it, and he dropped off. And that's the hardest fan to get back, especially when it's a constant burn of bad and just unfulfilling promises. It's hard to get when there's so many other good games back.
And I mean, Halo Infinite's campaign I really loved. I played through it. I think that 343 certainly wasn't built for the live service, you know, sort of style of game. So gonna be tough for, you know, them to even get people back into Halo. But I also truly think that a lot of people just didn't give the Infinite campaign a chance. Like it has such a core, solid and fundamental gameplay loop as well as just the movement of Master Chief being able to sprint and have the grapple shot. Like, it is a fantastic campaign in my opinion. And so yeah, the fact that like we might not get any extra single player stuff, it really hurts. But I do want to say in defense of 343, I think the multiplayer feels good. I think the multiplayer, the gameplay, the mechanics, the gunplay, it is top notch. Like, this is the best. Yeah. This is the best Halo multiplayer, arguably ever. But at the end of the day, they just weren't built for a live service, and we'll see what happens with Halo. But again, like, that multiplayer suite is just as good now as it was back then. There's just no content for it, and so that's what sucks. So
yeah, I would argue that Halo Infinite is the best feeling shooter, except outside of like Doom.
Yeah, it's very good.
It's very, very good.
All right. Speaking of live services, there's a leaked Suicide Squad screen that appeared. It has since been stricken down. So it's no longer circulating the interwebs, but this comes from Logan Plant over from IGN. It was updated on January 22nd. It says, it seems Rocksteady's upcoming Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League could feature live service elements, including a store and a battle pass. This information comes from a leaked screenshot of the game 4 months ahead of its release. VGC reports that the leaked image originated on 4chan, and the outlet says it confirmed with its own sources that the image is real. The screenshot shows what looks like the game's main menu, where we can see all 4 playable characters lined up. Now, again, that screenshot is no longer available. I did see it. There is a tab for a battle pass. There is a live service structure, it seems, to Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Justin, we have already had our trepidations, especially coming off of Gotham Knights, and now going into this. I had also declared in our group chat that for me, this game is a must play because it is Kevin Conroy's last appearance as Batman. So that's my mind being set on this game just because of Kevin Conroy. But now, is this live service stuff going to stop me? I mean, maybe. Well, we need to know more about this game. But Justin, your thoughts?
I like it. I'm okay with it. The 4 characters you get to play as, Harley Quinn, King Shark, Deadshot, and Captain Boomerang, have so many different costumes, especially Harley Quinn. Let's just say Harley Quinn has a buttload of costumes throughout all the comics and shows and movies. And how else are you supposed to unlock them all? Just by collecting stuff in the game? No. Nay. 4 characters. Every month you get new costumes, new weapons, new skills. It sounds right. It fits this gameplay style. 4-player co-op hopefully works well. Not a grind fest like Gotham, hopefully. And that's the difference, really. With Gotham, you grind to beat the game. With this, you're grinding to unlock things that you're going to see with every gameplay. You're going to earn more things, more content. It'll be worth it. I'm okay with it. I'm down.
But that is assuming that the live service stuff isn't infiltrating your single player campaign, and I would argue that there's going to be elements. I mean, there are a ton of currencies that were on that leaked image. There's 3 separate currencies. And how are you going to get those? By playing the single player campaign or playing co-op or something like that. Yes, it does seem, at least from one of the things that I've read, it does seem that most of it is going to be cosmetic in nature, which, yes, that's how I enjoy my battle passes. It needs to be cosmetic in nature. But at the end of the day, you mean to tell me that this is Rocksteady, the creators of the Arkham trilogy, and they're implementing live service things into their single-player game? I believe, I've said it on this podcast before, I believe that they already have an uphill battle because they're using Suicide Squad instead of another Batman game or instead of an actual Justice League game. And then now adding these wrinkles, it's even more of an uphill battle. Cam, thoughts?
Yeah, I have been cautious about Suicide Squad since we first saw gameplay because the gameplay didn't look great to me. And I love Rocksteady's games. I love the Batman games. I love Batman Arkham City, and Asylum, more particularly. But and this is for a more a bigger issue than just Suicide Squad being live service, but I hate this trend I'm seeing of some of the best developers in video games focusing on live service titles that have been known to make these great single player experiences, that these one and it's this is what it is. And then they're I don't know if it was Rocksteady's choice or if it was WB and saying hey, this has to be like this or what, but Rocksteady should stick at what they're good at. And especially with how Avengers turned out, which I think Avengers had way more appeal going for them than Suicide Squad.
Oh, 100%.
And how that turned out, I am incredibly worried about this game. And they need to give us the deep dive quick. They need to be like, hey, here's a presentation specifically on this game. That's what that game needs at this point, because I think the reason why we haven't seen a lot of stuff up to this point is because they're worried about this. They're worried about how they were going, like, it was going to be received, that this game is a live service game with microtransactions, and like, because for me, like, after I do that single player, I do not see myself as of right now doing any of that stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, like, because and I'm someone who like actually played quite a bit of Avengers. Like, I went back and I did the Wakanda, the War for Wakanda stuff. I enjoyed playing as Black Panther, but even the Spider-Man stuff, like, when I found out that there was like really no like expansion content for that, I'm like, I'm not going back to play, like, I'm not going back for that.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't give me the content I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, and then there's just like so many questions, like, are they going to add more characters later, and like like just how any of that's going to look, it's just very big question mark. I'm worried about it. I don't like it in general, because, like, you know, we've waited what, 8 years for a new Rocksteady game, and this might be what they're solely working on for the next 5+ years before starting development on another game. No, thank you.
Yeah, especially if there's live service aspects to it, for sure.
Yeah. No, thank you. I do not. That's not what I want from Rocksteady. Because I personally would consider Rocksteady, like leading up to this point, an S-tier video game developer.
Oh, for sure.
And
well, they don't miss.
And yeah, they haven't, you know, and granted, they made 3 somewhat similar games, but like, they made like one of the best Batman stories, period, in Arkham City.
Yeah.
You know, one of the best open world games in Arkham City, like, and like, you know, the combat mechanics have been used in other games, including Spider-Man PS4, less good in my opinion, but still. And yeah, it's just, we owe, like, the video game industry owes a lot to Rocksteady, and they've they have made so many good games, and it's just, this is just so weird, and I'm really upset. I'm really upset.
Well, you did say there's big question marks on everything. The Riddler could make an appearance, you know. He could.
He could.
I'm okay. I have faith in Rocksteady. That's the difference. I think I know they don't miss. This is a multiplayer game. They're trying something. Let them try. You know, if it flops, it flops, and then it's a Halo Infinite, and they come back harder next time. I'm okay.
I would feel more optimistic if we didn't have what we had with Avengers, because like, I love Crystal Dynamics. I loved all 3, but specifically like the Crystal Dynamic Tomb Raider games were fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think that
underrated.
And so when this happened, when that was announced, I was originally excited. I was like, oh, Crystal Dynamics doing Avengers, like, hell yeah, like that's well, you know, there's a second one for you. And I was super excited about that. But then it just like, and granted, the story was cool. The Kamala Khan stuff was good, but like the live service stuff was not where it needed to be. So I don't know. Like, I think I'm not really worried about the single player stuff about Suicide Squad. I'm more worried about the live service stuff.
100%. Agreed. Rocksteady. We're looking to see something soon. So get on it. Don't crunch though. All right, so we are done with the news for tonight. We're gonna move on to a recurring segment as of recently, gaming draft. So we're actually, in honor of special guest Cam here, we're gonna do 2 gaming drafts, which will be fun here. So we're gonna draft first the video game characters that have the best story, and then we'll do another draft after that. So Justin, you won the debate. You get to choose the order in which we draft here. So
I could
who's
steal
drafting first?
The hidden topic I saw early in the show, way earlier in the show before pre-edit. No, I'm not.
I don't even know.
I don't know. I don't know either. I'm going to pick my first as Kratos from God of War.
Well, dang. All right. So who's next? Me or Cam?
I'm gonna go with Cam next. Let's just go down the list.
Okay.
I had it in my mind, and now it escaped me.
I know it.
No, you don't. Oh, Commander Shepard.
Yeah, it's on my list.
Okay.
Now it's not on my list. I didn't take Cam's, but he takes one of mine.
Shepherd, like that? No, like that, right? Yeah.
That's
Hopefully
right.
that's spelled right.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, I'm going Master Chief. I know that his story is questionable, and a lot of it's Cortana, but I don't know. I just think Master Chief has a great story. So Justin.
I think two of mine are gone now. I'm gonna have to go with the OG. I'm a fan of a different one, but this was the original, and that is Lara Croft from Tomb Raider. I believe hers are better than her counterparts.
Cam.
I'm gonna go with Ellie from The Last of Us.
Ellie from The Last of Us. Okay. Now, I haven't played this game. I've played a little bit of it, but I do know. I don't know the story, but I do know that everybody agrees that it is one of the greatest characters of all time. Arthur Morgan. I'm going with his character. Don't know his actual story, but this is a draft, baby. All right, Justin, you're next.
So, this is tough. You know what? Final pick. I'm going to go with Link. I'm going to go with Link from Legend of Zelda. Yeah. Yep, that's how it's going.
Just which Link, though? You know what I mean?
That's all links. The ones in all of the links across the
All
world.
right. Cam, what's your final pick?
I'm picking Clementine from The Walking Dead.
Okay. Yeah.
From the Telltale games?
Telltale Walking Dead. She's the main character, right? From all the games?
Outside of the first game, yes.
Okay.
Well, no, actually, so the first and third season, technically no, but she's in all of them. And she is the main protagonist of the series, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. All right, I am going Wei Shen. I love Sleeping Dogs, and Wei Shen's the main character from Sleeping Dogs, so I got to keep a trend here.
Yo, you're like, no, I respect how much you're committed to this right now.
I am. The story was so good, just experiencing it recently. So, all right. Justin has Kratos, Lara Croft, and Link. Kim has Commander Shepard, Ellie, and Clementine, and I have Master Chief, Arthur Morgan, and Wei Shen. All right. Listeners get to decide who gets the best. And we're moving on to a second draft here. Controllers. The greatest controllers of all time. We got to draft them here. Justin, I guess you still get to decide the order.
Wait, Justin gets to go first again?
Yeah, that's
the
winner of the debates gets to choose
winner
the
of the
order.
debates.
I think it should be reversed this time. I think it should be we flip the.
You Uno reversing the order?
Yeah, reverse the order.
All right, Uno, reverse your order.
Okay, so I'm going first.
Yeah, you go first.
Okay. Back when I was growing up, there was a little controller for a little console that was square. It was purple. It was
Damn
orange.
it! Damn it! That's what I wanted to pick. Go on and do it. Kill me.
I'm sorry to say, Cam, but I'm Uno reversing Mike's pick, and I'm taking it for my.
I'm Uno reversing
No,
your pick.
Uno
So
reversing is in Test Your Might.
It's
Stop.
in any of the show. It's any of the show.
No, it's
I'm
not.
taking the Wavebird. Give me the
No, I'm doing the Wavebird.
Objection.
All right. Yeah, the Wavebird. Got to choose it first because I knew it was going to be gone by the time
it's
it came
the goat.
back to me.
It's the goat. It's the goat. You're right. You're right.
All right, Cam, you're up next.
So can I pick the normal GameCube controller? Because the Wavebird's wireless, technically.
I think we've decided that like one version of that takes out the version.
If that's the case, I'm picking the Xbox Elite Series 2 controller.
Xbox Elite Series 2.
The only other controller that can even match the glory that is the GameCube controller.
Now, since that is a specialty controller, are we allowed to use just the base Xbox controller?
I mean, I think this controller is notably different than like the Xbox One controller.
Okay, so then the Xbox One or the Xbox Series controller is still on the table. Justin, your first choice.
I'm going with the Explorer Guitar Hero X controller.
Ooh, that's from
white
Guitar
X.
Hero 2, right?
Yes.
Guitar Hero 2.
Cam's getting up.
Wait, hold on, is it this one?
I got it over. It's in the other room. Cam's getting it.
Okay. If you're watching the video, Cam is grabbing the
That's it.
Yep, that one. That's the one. That is a great controller. I love I love when I lent you Guitar Hero 2 and that didn't come home for a long time.
Yeah. I got addicted to it for life. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, I have to do it. I'm just gonna choose the regular Xbox Series controller. Like it is, to me, it is almost perfect in form factor. Like it just is extremely comfortable. It feels good feels good to pilot that controller. So, Cam, you're up.
The DualSense.
Which one? Which one?
No, the DualSense.
The DualSense, which is the PS5 controller, not the Shock.
Oh, you're right.
All right, Justin.
You know, should I just throw this whole debate away? I'm going with the N64 controller. I know it gets some hate, but I love it, and I don't care what you say. The color
respect
choices, the different handles, you could hold it all different ways. It's lefty or righty. Come on.
I like it.
Okay, solid choice. I think it's a terrible controller, but I still think it's a solid choice as far as like different colors and the uniqueness to it. And plus, it piloted some of the greatest games of all time. I mean, Super Mario 64,
Superman
Ocarina
64,
of Time, Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Superman 64.
No, what? No. What?
Pokemon Stadium.
Pokemon Stadium was great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Puzzle League.
All right. I kind of want to go retro with this last one, and one of my favorite retro controllers of all time is actually the Genesis controller. I think that
Solid.
I think that it's a solid controller. Cam, final choice.
Sorry, I'm deciding between two right now, and I'm just like, which one do I want to pick?
All right.
Just for funsies.
Okay, just for funsies.
I'm going to do the Jungle Beat bongos.
Oh.
So those are the Donkey Kong 64 bongos?
No, those
GameCube.
Jungle Beat. It's from GameCube.
Oh, Jungle Beats bongos. Okay. Justin, your final controller choice.
Just for funsies, which was my plan for the final choice. My first one and my last one are usually fun for this. So, I tried to come up with something here that was a unique way to play games, like the guitar, right? And I'm going with the NES Zapper gun. This was the gun, the gray gun or the orange gun for some.
The
you
gun.
would shoot ducks with pigeons, cowboys, those kind of things on the screen. Yeah. And it was unique as AF for sure.
All right, so Justin has the
ching ching as you fire.
Oh, for sure, 100%. Justin has the Guitar Hero 2 controller, N64 controller, and the NES Zapper gun, Elite Series 2 controller, DualSense, Jungle Beat bongos for Cam, and I have the Wavebird Xbox Series controller and the Genesis controller. So, listeners, those are our 2 drafts. I'll have them down below in the description. You let us know. You decide. Yeah, giraffes. You decide what is the best list. Okay, Cam, what have you been up to? Where can we find you? Hit us up with them plugs.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at CamFinalMix, Unlocking Kingdom Hearts podcast, where we go over the themes and help digest the story of Kingdom Hearts for those that are playing through it for the first time, or if you're wanting to do a replay and just want to hear us talk about Kingdom Hearts. It's all on all your podcast services. We're currently, I think our next episode is on Birth by Sleep, so we're like 3 or 4 episodes in. The episodes come when they come,
when they come, right?
Yeah, exactly. Outside of that, I also stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/CamFinalMix, if you ever want to watch me rage playing Cicero or other games. I think I'm going to play Astral Chain next. I haven't played Astral Chain yet.
Okay.
And I've heard I've been meaning to get to it, so I think I'm going to play that after on stream when I'm done with Cicero. And yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Well, you can find Justin at rubberduck_2500 on Twitter, me, Stay at Home Gamer with the O and home as a 0 on Twitter, and What the Fun Pod on Twitter as well. As always, Cam, thanks so much for joining us. It has been a pleasure. Always good to see you here. Definitely a friend of the show for sure. So yeah, thanks for joining again.
Yeah, absolutely. Always glad to be here.
All right. Well, without further ado, my name's Mike. That was Cam, Justin as well. This has been Test Your Might episode 103, Play Sleeping Dogs. Goodbye.